This soy sam nim 5 a.m. and welcome to Shift+F1, a podcast about speedy race cars. That, by the way, is Hungarian for "Don't speak my lips, so my head doesn't hurt."
Whoa, that sounded just like what the crazy lady in the woods told me right before my life fell apart.
Whoa. Well, that, Danny, is, as you probably now know, is roughly equivalent to "what he doesn't know won't hurt him." Perhaps the opposite of what was going on between Leclerc and Ferrari this weekend, but we'll get to that later. I'm Drew Scanlon. Joining me, Danny O'Dwyer. How are you, Danny?
How am I? Well, this break is coming up. We kind of just had a break, and now we have another break.
Yeah, it's
and
confusing.
when you leave the restaurant, you want to have, you get that dessert. Leaves a good taste in your mouth. You're skipping down the street, you're feeling good about yourself. I don't necessarily have that feeling at the moment, and it's not maybe because of Hungary in particular. It was an interesting weekend, maybe if a little boring, but it's just, I don't know, this and the race before it.
You're saying the vibes are off.
Yeah. I think I'm feeling it. I think Lewis Hamilton's feeling it. I think it feels a little bit funny out there in the world of F1.
Also feeling it, Rob Zachney. How are you, Rob?
Not too bad. Largely in agreement with Danny. The vibes are off.
Okay, well, we're going to get to the bottom of these vibes. Everyone, if you're new to this podcast, a very warm welcome to you. And if you are new to Formula One itself, we've got an episode just for you. Good time to come in, I think. Our preseason primer episode assumes no prior F1 knowledge and explains how the sport works and who everybody is. So if you'd like to go back and listen to that, it's episode 298. And then over this break, you can just binge everything and get up to speed, as we say.
Speak.
That's right. Before we come back in a few weeks. Also, this show would not be possible without our audience over at patreon.com/shiftf1, where every month we release ad-free versions of the podcast early for patrons, along with bonus podcasts and videos that are exclusively for our patrons that cover racing documentaries and films, F1 video games, experiments with other racing series, and a lot of weird things. So if you would like to support the show and get access to all that fun stuff, head over to patreon.com/shiftf1 or click the link in the show notes. What do we have going on this month, Denny?
Well, it's mid-season break, but not for the patrons. We will be back after this episode on the public feed, August 26th, for the... why do I think Zand... It's not Zand... Where is it?
I think it is.
Is it Zandvoort?
I think it is.
They mix stuff around a little bit. Yeah, so we're coming
Just to
back
mess with you.
Coming back for Sandy Vandy at the end of the month. But we have 2 Patreon-exclusive podcasts in between them. So if you want to join the Patreon... We're doing a mid-season code. I want to get this podcast set fast for the patrons, so I can't be spending time making jingles. So I just said the jingle there instead.
Got it.
That's all right. But if you use the offer code when you sign up to our Patreon, multi-25, Drew, multi-25.
Got it. On account of the year.
Yeah, and our continuing love for Mark Webber. MULTI 25. It'll be in the show notes too. You'll get 50% off your first month, which will be this month. And you get to listen to 2 exclusive Patreon-exclusive podcasts. One is the F1 The Movie podcast we'll be doing next week. And then the week after that, we will have one that's been requested by a bunch of people, including our friend, your friend Steve, the Dale Earnhardt 4-part series over on Amazon Prime Video. Is that what we're calling that? Sure.
Yeah.
Bezos TV. Go check it out. It's a 4-part, hour-long each, all about the life of Dale Earnhardt. Am I senior?
That's right. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I don't know America things. This wasn't on the...
Well, you're about to learn.
Thank you. It wasn't on the citizenship test, this one. Maybe should have been.
That's surprising.
Maybe it'll be on the new one they'll make naturalized people take in the future. I hope. That and lots of Christians. Christians? Wow, Freudian slip. Lots of questions about our Lord and Savior. Well, it's mine.
Good to point out also that those are the ones that are coming up, but if you join the Patreon, you will have access to our entire back catalog of movies that we've done.
There is a gluttony of us talking about movies you will never watch. And some you'll watch.
Some we really recommend. Some that maybe you should just listen to the episode.
It's some good... Some of our finest work is over on that feed.
Oh, yeah.
And some of our finest patrons are right here, strapped to our livery. Our incredible title sponsors, Ricky Vahora, Baby Hugo, brought to you by Pax Aurora LLC. Wow, they doubled up on that one.
Wow, Baby Hugo's selling out.
Baby Hugo's already cashing in his internet cred. He's like, life moves fast, man. What do you call Baby Hugo? We're not millennial, Gen Z. What's the latest one? What do we call
even
this?
past Gen Alpha at this point.
Oh,
Gen
well then.
Beta?
We got to come up with
Just
something
a
better.
bunch of cooks.
Okay.
This whole.
No.
I'm not
Okay.
saying that about Baby Hugo. Baby Hugo is a businessman, right?
Clearly.
He's here to.
Baby Hugo's about to start selling crypto.
It is an IT solution company, from what I looked up. So
Oh,
you know, you're only one step away from crypto there. Although so are we in the world of Formula One. We're quite close to crypto too. So you know.
Yeah.
Anyway. The Chicken Finger Pitta, Man and Harmony, Deange, It's a Me Ferrario, Online Gambling, Get Rich or Die Ryan, Agave ATX, Cypher's Training, Turf SCS, Michael Naves, Mission Winnow, Telemetry Deck, The Herbal Tea,
Ooh.
FTC, Drew Stewart, Bailey Foot, Jason, Abraham Getchell, The Bunny Fiend is Watching, Snigs, Alex Goucher, Max Voltar Keyboards. Everyone's sticking like businesses on the end of these now. Jeff Foster, Troy Stammer, William Romph, Lachlan the Maddened Man. Maybe that's his business, is being a madman this whole time. Samurai Love Story and Jason Kelly. Thank you all so much. I think about your names often when I am
Going to sleep.
sleeping. Yeah, that's the spot, really. That's it. Or if I meet a fan, if I meet a Shift F1 listener, I'll often say, who's your favorite title sponsor? And they'll definitely come up with one. You live rent-free in the minds of thousands.
That's right. Well, let's get to it, everyone. The Hungarian Grand Prix, the last race before the summer break. Going down the grid here, surprise for everyone, including himself, Charles Leclerc on pole position, especially considering McLaren dominated all the practice sessions as well as Q1 and Q2. In second place, Oscar Piastri. In starting third, Lando Norris. Behind him, George Russell, then Fernando Alonso, and then Lance Stroll in 5 and 6. Aston really seems to have turned a corner here. Although they seem to be kind of downplaying it. Alonso, in this quote from Autosport, says it was just the layout, the characteristics of the circuit, just suiting the car apparently. And it would be nice to understand this, why the car is operating in this sweet spot here, because if we understand that, we can use it in the next few races.
Yeah, worth mentioning that Q3 surprised just about everyone. The track temperatures, especially at the end of the session, just plummeted or something. Yeah, so just that's what caught out the McLarens for sure when it came to Leclerc. But also, you know, the Astons got into Q3, and that was before I think a lot of that stuff happened. Bortoletto as well. Lots of folks sort of coming up good because of the changing conditions, and probably this weird track. Like I said last week, it's a strange track. Every turn goes into another turn. You know, this is, if you're playing Mario Kart, if your kart is able to do the like jump and drift thing, this is a good track for you. But if you have straight line speed Mario Kart, then you know it's probably not going to go so good. Pick the Cloud car. That's a good one.
Okay. Alonso also suffering from a back injury sustained at Spa, so he sat out FP1, free practice 1, in favor of Felipe Drugovich.
I'm just going to say that's Fernando Alonso suffering a back injury because of old. Like that's, you know, oh, something happened at Spa. Did it? Did you reach?
Yeah.
Did you reach for your medication? Is that what happened? Yeah.
Kimi Räikkönen also, I remember having some back issues late in his career.
He was having a shit.
Well, that's how he threw it out. Sam Collins over at the F1 official YouTube channel doing a good breakdown of all the upgrades the teams brought. Also, he pointed out that the Astons, they brought upgrades to Spa, but didn't do so hot there. And maybe, I don't know, they just worked better here. In seventh, also seemingly turned a corner, the Saubers, because Gabriel Bortoletto starts seventh ahead of Max Verstappen, his worst qualifying of the season. He'll start eighth in his 200th start for Red Bull. And then the two Racing Bulls, Liam Lawson and Isaac Hadjar. Apparently the closest to top 10 in qualifying times in F1 history, covered by
Wow.
less than 0.6 of a second, the top 10.
Madness. Stick those ghost cars together. Yeah, very cool seeing Bortoleto in the mix. We love a mixed up grid. It's
Yeah.
what didn't we do? Wasn't there one qualifying version they played with over the years that shuffled them up a little bit? I forget. Obviously in
messed with
Formula 2 and Formula 3 with the sprints, the way they handle the top slot is a little bit different. But
They still
yeah,
flip the top 8? Is that how it happens?
I believe so.
Of the
I never
finish?
watch quali. I watch the races every week, and I watch F2 quali, but I haven't put two and two together there in a while.
In 11th, Oliver Behrman. In 12th, the other Ferrari of Lewis Hamilton. 2.5 off his teammate in Q2.
Hey, look,
But
things can
like
only
we
get
said, the
better.
margins.
You know?
Yeah, margins of the track are thin, but maybe when we finish off this list here, we'll get to Rob's impressions of the post-qualifying interview. 13th is Carlos Sainz, followed by Franco Colapinto, Andrea Kimi Antonelli in 15th. He had a time deleted, but he would have qualified 11th anyway. Pierre Gasly 16th, Esteban Ocon, Nico Hulkenberg, Alex Albon, and Yuki Tsunoda. Starting from the pit lane, he qualified 16th, but took some more power unit elements. Rob, impressions of Lewis Hamilton after qualifying.
I mean, I thought they were going to have to take his shoelaces. Was the tenor of his comments to the media. I think so he gave remarks that, there was a radio call overheard, just saying useless. When he was asked to clarify what he meant himself. And he didn't stop there. He said that clearly something needs to change, but with the cars on, he says the team has no problem. You've seen the cars on pole, so we probably need to change the driver.
Wow.
When he was asked about the radio call, he said, "It's me every time. I drove terribly. It is what it is." And he also, people ask well, what can change? What can help? I don't think anything can help me right now. Is what he said to that. Now, we have seen Lewis have down periods throughout his career. And I think what's different this time is he had down periods when he was sort of at his peak at Mercedes, right? You'd have rough patches and you have rough patches, but the car was still really good, and so maybe he doesn't win a couple races and he's unhappy, but he's still bagging results. Now I think one of the real differences is he's having one of those down periods and he's not doing well with the car, but also he wasn't doing well at Mercedes last year either, in particular. And there have been a lot of remarks. There's been, Lewis is highly scrutinized. And one thing, though, that a number of drivers have talked about is speed goes away in ways that are really hard to, you can't feel it. You kind of don't know where it's gone. It is just a tenth here and there. It's just, you can't find that anymore. You don't know where that edge is. And it sneaks up on you. And it is possible that is where Hamilton is. He's never seemed comfortable with this car, but also he wasn't comfortable with the last version of the Merc he drove. And it is true that there are these weekends where Charles's performance indicates there is a fair bit more performance to unlock in the car, but Hamilton isn't getting at it. His remarks were so down. It was one of those things where he made it sound like maybe he just won't come back from vacation. Maybe it'll just he might be done. I doubt we see that. My feeling is that Lewis Hamilton will always convince himself that there is a rally ahead, that this is not how the story ends. I think we're just kind of in one of those moments, but it doesn't bode super well for anything really. This season is starting to feel like a write-off for him, but also this is not a good energy to be taking into next year.
Yeah, I had two feelings about this. One, like you said, Lewis has had downturns in the past. This was sort of a different attitude to it. And the other thing that I had is it reminds me a little bit of a kid when they get in trouble and they know they're going to get in trouble and they sort of overstate it on their end so that you meet them in the middle. So I can also see like a situation where he's basically getting out ahead of it, but sort of over-egging the reaction a slight bit. So then, the actual reaction is a bit like, no, you're not doing that bad. You know what I mean? From whoever, the public or the person he's being interviewed by or Fred Visser or whatever. So, yeah, I do often, hey, look, a storied veteran moves to Ferrari and things don't go well is a tale as old as time. We don't, this is, I'm sure this is not a surprise to a lot of people, but it often reminds me of the stories about like StarCraft pros and things like that, where like the window for the type of twitch muscle fibers that you have in your hand is like super short. Like you lose those in your 20s and then everything sort of slows down a bit. And in a sport where the top 10 are split by 0.6 of a second, if you're just physically working at your peak, but your peak is not the same peak that you had just biologically in your 20s, like that has to have some type of an effect.
It's tough when Alonso's out there.
Right,
he just turned 44.
And he did come fifth, so like that was the other.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but again, like there's kind of question is like, what if you put Max in the Aston? Would that thing be? You know what I mean? Like, because our benchmark is actually qualified. We have a 44-year-old man and like the team owner's son, who like it's always going to be tough to really like figure out what's what's he made of. But I do think you got to pull it together, man. Like Angela's not doing that to her complexion with that Ferrari red uniform, so you can just sit there and mope. Like
you're right.
You
it's
gotta,
not very flattering. You're right.
You have responsibilities here. It is not. It doesn't. I think it does not seem like a fun team either. Like I don't. It's
right.
Which is kind of if I had to sort of like point a finger, maybe you can't have good culture when things aren't going well. Maybe it's just kind of impossible to be like having good vibes, but it does not seem like Fred Vasseur has succeeded in sort of dispelling the sort of Ferrari gloom that hangs over that team. The pressure, the expectation, the dysfunction. He hasn't seemed to quite sort of break through those clouds. But yeah, I was thinking about on Team Torque, the Williams podcast YouTube show with Albon and Sainz, both when they talked to Coulthard a few like before Monaco, and then they talked to Damon Hill a couple weeks ago, and both those conversations came up that like back in like just 15 years ago, 20 years ago, you could be a second off the pole time and you'd be second on the grid. Like the margins were super wide, and 0.6 covering the top 8, was it?
10.
You might not qualify, hence qualification.
Yeah,
but you have to be like 30 seconds behind everyone else.
Right, but like it's just there's no one of the things that like DC brought up in particular is like you could kind of relax more as an F1 driver. You could sort of mail it in and you wouldn't have to be like on edge, 10 tenths, where in that performance window. Now it's a long season and the margins are this thin the entire way through, and like Lewis can't find it.
He was talking about it. Coulthard was in relation to qualifying in Monaco. He's like, you know what? I would, it's a scary track. I would drive it at 90% and I'd get pole position. You guys have to drive it at 110.
That's crazy.
The Hamilton thing, I don't get a lot. I'm not like afraid for him at this juncture or anything for his seat or that he's going to do anything drastic. I think you see this kind of talk from from him in the past, from Norris, from Leclerc. I think drivers are a lot of them are very emotional beings, and certain people have different things that motivate them.
Right.
And so this is not so unusual for me. I may be proven wrong, but I feel like this is just his way of dealing with being in a tough situation, which he is.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
We're going to take a break situation, but we'll be back with the race in just a moment. Danny, the Hungarian Grand Prix, do you want to take us through the start?
Did we finish the grid?
We did. Yuki Tsunoda starting from the pit lane.
Sorry, Yuki. Don't worry. It could be worse. Could it? It could be worse.
Hey, wait, hang on. Drew, can you look at the grid again real quick?
Yeah.
Did both the RBs qualify ahead of the Red Bulls?
Lawson was
No, just behind.
just behind.
So Verstappen 8th, Lawson 9th, Hadjar 10th.
Okay.
Yeah.
beautiful Isaac. I asked my wife to do like a tier list of the driver. I was watching the post-quality interviews.
Very important.
Yeah, because she doesn't watch F1. The two pieces of feedback that I'll share with everyone here was, unsurprisingly, Hamilton and Carlos Sainz Jr. were the S tiers.
Okay. Yes.
And then her main piece of feedback for everyone else was Pierre Gasly was close to an S
All
as
right.
well. Her main piece of feedback for everyone else was these are children. So she felt weird. She couldn't give ratings to
She couldn't rate auras?
Kimi or no. Norris got like a C. She was not.
Okay.
Or like a B.
Maybe she's ranking them by some criteria she doesn't feel comfortable with. Because
Possibly.
I have no problem ranking these children. You know,
well, Kimi
I've been
has
following
ranked
F1
children.
for years. Like which
Hey,
child do we
careful.
like?
Careful,
Which
Rob.
child soldier's a badass?
Wow.
Get out of that car. Make way for a different traumatized youth.
We had Kimi.
Throw this
and
one back. He's
Isaac.
F tier.
And who else? Who else was she was freaked out by Ollie Behrman's height.
Oh.
Because like
He is like a little racing giraffe.
yeah, he's very tall. I mean,
Like you
Russell's
win that
6
guy at
foot
a
as
fair.
well.
Maybe that's where Haas
Fair,
got him. They
jeez.
like they won him at a fair, and it's like, which one do you want? It's like I want the big one, and then they just put him in the Haas car. I was just walking past the big top with Ollie Behrman just clutched to his chest. Where are we going? Haas F1. Take me back.
How I need to look. How
I want
high
to
he
go
is.
back to the toy shop.
He's 6'2".
Yeah. He's a tall boy.
That's how did he get
Is that
in?
taller than Russell? Russell's sneaky tall.
Yeah.
So is
Russell's
Alex.
6 foot.
Those dudes are rangy.
I think he's only 6. I looked him up when we were doing the tier list.
Ocon's big too. I think he's 6'1" or so.
How did these guys? Isn't there like, speaking of your fairground sort of metaphor here? Isn't there like a "you must be this short to ride F1" sign that they all have to go past?
The problem is it's also a mental game, and confidence levels just change once you get north of 6 foot. So like there's a bit of a built-in, and also assessed competence increases. We're a long way away from like Red Bull like being, damn it, Mark, why can't you just be smaller? Which was kind of how they responded to some of
Perez,
his
please
complaints.
lose a few pounds.
Right.
Yeah, Valtteri, starve yourself. But like, I do wonder if there's a little bit of just like, damn, that guy's tall. He must be good at driving F1 cars. It doesn't really track, but it's definitely a thing.
Every inch is adding, a couple of tenths, so to speak. Let's get into the race, folks. Lights out, away they went. Leclerc defends well. There's a domino effect here. Leclerc defends well against Piastri, but Piastri doesn't have a fantastic start. And so that sort of opens the door for Lando, who goes for the inside. So he's starting on the outside, but he decides to go up the inside to try and outbrake, which is an interesting choice here for a couple of reasons. One is that like there's sort of a second bite at the cherry here into turn 2. So you don't really have to do it on the first one. But I guess the math here, or the calculus here, is that Piastri has fallen back from behind Leclerc, and so he's probably
Lando
not gonna
bails
have to
out of
break
it
that
super
hard.
early too.
does,
Like he
yeah.
has another Lando start, and I was curious to get your take on this because he is diving down the inside, and I kind of think the move was there. Piastri begins to close the door, but there was more room off to the right to take the inside line. Now taking the very far inside of that turn one, that is a tight wedge you were driving into, but it's turn one. You might still have the apex.
Almost like a
But
hairpin as well. That turn.
Instead, he cuts back to the left and bogs himself completely behind Piastri.
Yeah.
And then we're just off to another dog shit Lando start. Or is it?
So Russell gets past him. Russell's fighting with Piastri at this stage by the time Lando breaks into turn one. And then Lando finds himself in a duel with Fernando Alonso going down to turn two. But of course, Alonso has gone around the outside of him. So Alonso has the inside for the next turn, which is really important, especially with the exit of turn three. So by the time they've gotten down to turn two, Alonso has gotten his nose ahead of Lando, and Lando was pushed down to fifth. Russell and Piastri shakes out as well. So you've basically got Leclerc, Piastri, followed by Russell, Alonso, and then Lando behind him.
Yeah, and then Verstappen also lost a place to Lawson. I have here in my notes the out of position Verstappen. Is he out of position?
In what way is he out of position?
Like,
what do you mean? In terms of
qualifying,
Like
eighth.
a fox, or like that? Like he's sort of regressing to where the Red Bull just should be.
Yeah, that's my question. Is qualifying eighth normal? I don't know. We'll see after the break.
Also, I do wonder if there's a little bit of, again, that 10/10 thing. This is not a winning campaign. Is morale a little low? And I could make this thing stand on its head, but fuck that, man. I just had a kid.
Yeah. So Verstappen does get the place back on lap 2 from Lawson. Lap 3, Norris retakes 4th from Alonso on the front straight with DRS, which is critical since being stuck behind Alonso was losing him time. Also on lap 3, maybe my move of the race. We're watching from the helicopter as this train of Alonso, Bortoleto, and Stroll heads into the chicane, and then out of nowhere, Verstappen dives up the inside of Stroll for a clean pass for 7th place. Really,
Yes,
great
beautiful. Not a spot we often see overtakes, but a Stroll.
Yeah,
also
but that's
kinda
like
left the
doing
door
a
open.
fatality on someone whose controller's unplugged.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Go
I
ahead,
should
Max.
be that mean to Lance. I didn't even really think that, but it's
yeah.
Lap 19, Piastri. This is like a solid, what I would call a solid 2 out of 4 strategy.
I
race
nearly
here.
bailed on this race. I was like, we just start fast forward. This is like, there's a moment where I turned to MK and I was like, when is the last time anyone overtook? Because we're just watching the procession going around the track map.
Yeah, it's the problem with Hungary. It's Monaco without the walls, right? As people say. I woke up in the morning, didn't wake up early enough, so I was lagging. So I watched the race. Maybe it just ended. So I watched the race as live. I got halfway and then went to YouTube to see if the highlights were up. And they were. And I watched.
Oh no! See, because the thing is, I almost bailed on this race. And then because I'm a little strategy pervert, and I always love the maybe we could do a one.
It becomes a slow burn.
The minute the one stop started coming into focus, I was a little bit like, that's probably not going to work.
So, sorry, I take it back. What I actually did was I stuck the highlights on, and they got up to all the stuff I had watched in 3/4, and then it skipped a bunch to the last 10 laps and all the strategy stuff. So I just skipped 20 laps on the live one and then watched the rest of it that way.
Okay, yeah.
Smart.
Well, lap 19 is when the pit stops start happening. Say that 10 times fast. Piastri pits to try to undercut Leclerc, but Leclerc follows a lap later and covers him off, still comes out ahead of Piastri. Russell pits the same time as Leclerc, but Norris, knowing that he probably couldn't pass Piastri on track on the same strategy as Piastri, opts to gamble with a one-stop, taking the medium tires much longer than planned. Verstappen had pitted a lap before Piastri, but comes out in traffic. Lap 25, Russell on his new hard tires has come out behind Alonso, who's also trying Norris's one stop. And as they come into turn 2, Russell gets a run on him and nearly, or maybe does, rear end him. Thankfully, both escaping with seemingly no damage. Lap 29, Verstappen, having cleared Hülkenberg and Gasly, has set his sights on Hamilton. And as they approach this high-speed turn 4, Verstappen, as he did earlier in the race, found a spot to overtake that people don't usually do. He lunges up the inside of turn 4 just as Hamilton is turning in. And the helicopter passes behind a tree just at this moment, so it's tough to see exactly what happens. But Hamilton, even though he was well ahead at the apex, takes evasive action and drives off of the track, allowing Verstappen to come through and take 11th place. Before I get to the steward's ruling, what did you guys make of this at the time?
At the time, I thought it was an overcorrection from Hamilton. I was like a bit surprised. I didn't like. I don't know.
Morale is low. We've seen him fight that position way harder.
And notoriously, they don't have much visibility on like that. Like their windows are tiny, so it's not like he saw something. You know what I mean? Like you don't really see how close the cars get at that, or
No, but at that position, you do expect, because that turn 2. Whenever someone's making the attack, you kind of do suspect someone's going to be on the outside of you there. I do think it's
inside.
You're expecting. Hang on, it was Hamilton going off. Yes. But yeah, I think you do kind of expect that you're going to have that presence there. But to me, I'm kind of with you that him going off felt like a surrender in some ways, where it was just like, I'm not good. But I don't know that he was evading that serious. You know what I mean? It was like, would they have crashed if he'd stayed a little further in? I don't know. I've seen guys fight that corner harder. Hamilton didn't. And I think part of it is just they care less right now. But to me, I was like borderline. I think I was okay saying it was racing.
And the fact that Max's line doesn't help his cause, because he's basically almost off the track himself, taking that turn. So
let me get to the stewards. So the stewards opted to review the incident after the race since they wanted to hear explanations from both drivers. But
Hamilton did not go to that.
Hamilton never showed up.
Yeah.
So here is what the stewards had to say in their ruling. And this, I'm quoting from a Race Fans article. And in the stewards' rulings, they refer to cars by their numbers. So 1 is Verstappen and 44 is Hamilton. The driver of car 1 stated during the hearing that he had gained some momentum on car 44 out of turn 3 with fresher tires and used this momentum to make a move on the inside into turn 4. He further elaborated that he was in full control of his car and could have stayed further to the inside to leave space for car 44 on the exit. However, he said as car 44 had gone off track, he elected to use all of the track on the exit. The team representative of car 44 confirmed that there was no contact between both cars and further stated that the driver of car 44 chose not to attempt to remain on track. Taking all this into account, the stewards determined that there was no contact and that the incident does not qualify as forcing another car off track, despite the ambitious nature of the overtaking attempt, and take no further action. My read is Hamilton saw him coming up, few turns before, and was like, oh man, here we go. Verstappen's got a better car today. I'm really struggling this weekend. He's going to get by me, and I'm not really going to fight it. Oh, he's passing me right now? Fine, I'll go off track. Of course, you wouldn't want to admit that because it's like kind of giving up, right? I don't know.
And then you can't make the stewards meeting because you got your crying in the shower time.
Yep.
And like your Tobias Funke, just weeping. I mean, it's tough out there. I do think there's an element of like morale, commitment. These things require like there to be stakes. And Hamilton is not there to be walling around for P10, right? Like,
yep.
This weekend was a write-off to a degree. He was trying to do a recovery drive, but Max did have more pace. I've seen Max do more marginal things, but I think the big thing is like, what's the point, right? This isn't turn 1 at Monza where it's like there's a championship on the line, like which of us is going to blink. It's a take the spot, man. I don't. Neither of us cares. Like, neither of us cares.
We are creeping very, very close as well to 2026 new regulations, and I think they are. Hamilton's not moving to Ferrari for this year. He's moving to Ferrari for the dice road for next year. So
yeah, that's a good point.
Speaking of Ferrari, though, by this point, it was after the first pit stop cycles that Charles starts getting on the radio, right? And he's like, "What did you guys do? I can feel what you did to the car. You need to tell me you need to tell me we're going to do something like this. I can feel it. We're going to lose this race now because of what you did." And just complete, like...
Just take your meds, Charles. What's going on?
Again, scenes from a bad marriage. Right? It's just like just crackling tension, like, you son of a bitch. You did it. You went ahead and did it, didn't you? After I specifically asked you not to, and you decided what? You're not going to tell me? And it's like, this is just the dynamic. And now there's a funny postscript to this. Maybe we should get, because he's on the radio for the rest of the, like, we're throwing this race away. We're going to lose. We're going to lose because of these changes you made. I can't believe this. Post race. So I thought the team had made changes to the car without telling me during the pit stop. I was incorrect. There was actually some chassis damage that was compromising pace. It felt like a wing change, but I have to retract what I said to the team and my accusations. Now, in my defense, the team weren't seeing any data about the damage either. Otherwise, I'm sure they would have told me, and then we would have been fine. But they couldn't see it on the data, and so they didn't know what was happening, and I thought I knew.
The vibes are off, man.
It's like the trust level is just like it's non-existent. It is.
Do you ever see this? You see a lot of videos, and who knows? Because people, you can edit this stuff, and maybe he's chatting to everyone. But like him and Carlos did seem to have a good relationship, and they did seem to be jovial and fun, and maybe some much-needed comic relief in that environment. Because I often wonder about is Ferrari the sort of Daniel Day-Lewis set of Formula One? You know what I mean? Where
wow.
Everyone's kind of a little bit too serious, right? When it's work time,
Holy
it's work
shit.
time, right? So,
and when it's good, it's the best you've ever seen it.
Oh yeah,
just what masters. There's no one else like it.
But the tension during that when it goes bad,
give it a fucking rest, dude.
Right?
Yeah. No, that's so.
Because McLaren right now is where the vibes are good. You can feel it. Right? Obviously, they're doing well, but even so, it's like a young place. They're English, jovial, silly people who crack jokes and love bants and all that sort of stuff. But I have often wondered if the worst place to be doing bad is Ferrari.
Yeah, McLaren is like Ocean's 11, ensemble.
Yes.
Hey, where let's go hang out at this. And yeah, no, Ferrari is totally we're super method. Lock the fuck in.
Right.
But no, I think that's boy, I didn't think we'd come across another great metaphor for a team vibe, but Daniel Day-Lewis is so accurate to the weird intensity and the uncomfortable energy that so often just crackles around that team.
And for Charles in particular, if without a sort of teammate maybe who he got on with and had that relationship with, now in replacement of that is a very intense Lewis Hamilton at the end of his career.
And I think they're both a little more emo guys, along different axes, but they are. I also think this came up on the latest Team Torque. Albin was saying, look, F1 very cleverly excerpts the spiciest radio messages. Mm-hmm. They leave out a lot of the context. They leave out a lot of the more, perfectly fine conversations we have over the radio. Interestingly, Sainz immediately said, "You're like that all the time." By the way, I am telling you right now. Okay, so two things. People who follow me. Okay, three things. People who follow me on Blue Sky know the following. because I've watched Team Torque this weekend, like in the past week, they did one with Damon Hill, and like the bromance like vibes are just off the charts. Like they have like in jokes. Like it is like like they're this close to taking like group vacations now. So naturally, I'm like, okay, like these are incredible vibes, but also like there's no way people are not like, I ship this. And I was like, I wonder if there's like a ship culture around F1. Probably not, because it's a sport and these are real people, which is really stupid of me. So I go to AO3 and I look up just what are there stories where Carlos Sainz Jr. pops up as a character. And I got like 14,000 hits.
I'm not linking to this in the show notes.
What's AO3? I am out of the loop here. You guys
Archive of Our Own is the successor to like fanfiction.net. It is, so this is where now like you know, people the generations after us, like that's where sort of fan fiction generally lives.
Okay.
But like there's fan fiction about fucking everything. And fucking everything. And everyone. And so one of the you know, Dan, you know what slash fic is, right?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it turns out there is a troublingly robust culture of slash fic about F1 drivers.
Okay.
Carlos Sainz features prominently in a lot of it. Which was my discovery, where it was like, oh, there's people just writing like romantic comedies about like Carlos Sainz, like meet cutes with Max Verstappen at a Grand Prix. What if Carlos Sainz was an undercover crime lord? That he was sort of in the back, like by day he's an F1 driver, by night.
So it's not all of a romantic nature.
No,
like,
no, that one's still of a romantic nature because
is.
only Alex Albon could get close enough to learn his secret.
Oh wow.
So it's a little, it's weird, but I was not aware of this, and it's a little weird because it's like, oh, but these are just real people that you're like writing hardcore pornography about.
Okay, I'm gonna read it. I got 3 favorites here.
Yeah.
That I found. Carlos realizes one of the Ferrari engineers does illegal racing, and it drives him mad.
That sounds fucking awesome.
That sounds pretty good, right? Short story of Carlos Sainz and his 4 boyfriends. Separate stories with each of them, and one.
Which are the 4 boyfriends?
And the 4 boyfriends, and one where they're all together. And then the last one.
Yeah, but who are the boyfriends?
Oh, I could.
Look at the other tags on the. That'll tell you what other drivers are, and you'll see like Carlos Sainz Jr. /
Yeah, there's one here called Versailles, which and there's another one here called Carlando.
Oh yeah, that's obviously.
There's also Carlosker / Car. I don't know what that means. And then there's another one called C2. So these are people who understand Formula 1. They're using tire compounds in the titles.
Yep.
C2. So C2 is what? It's like not super hard, but not soft either. And then the last. Where's the one I saw with George? That was funny. One of them was like, Carlos is sending message. George isn't picking up on the message or something like that. It's good stuff. Yeah, there's 375 posts here at least, and a lot of them are in Spanish. So
I kept him in my DRS the entire race, and he's just not getting the message. What's it going to take?
I told him.
So the point is, though, like you'll have some of the drivers be like, F1 misrepresents what the tenor of these radio messages is. But like you had Sainz there in that moment being like, no, they don't. Like you are an antsy emo bitch on the radio. We all know this. And so it can be a little tough, but the Leclerc thing was tough because we did hear the context. Those were lengthy rants we heard over the radio. And just it's a weird thing where like the drivers at Ferrari don't seem to have a ton of trust or rapport with their engineers. There's just a real like lots of distrust. But the punchline was Leclerc was right. Pace just collapsed on that car, and over the course of like the middle portion of the race, he just steadily started plummeting, out of the lead, and then increasingly like looking tenuous on the podium.
Yeah, apparently by the end he was losing 2 seconds a lap from whatever Kremlin. Ferrari says they still don't really know what was going on, but it was not power unit related. But let's go back a little bit to lap 32 when Norris finally comes in for his single pit stop to hard tires. He goes from first to fourth, coming out behind Russell, hoping to make those places back up when the car is ahead of him pit. The second round of stops from the top three starts on lap 40 with Leclerc coming in from the lead and Piastri being told to box opposite, meaning that he stays out. Russell comes in 3 laps later, and then Piastri 2 laps after that. Piastri, when asked about pit strategy, said, I don't really care about Leclerc. I just want the best chance to try and beat Lando. And after all those stops, Norris inherits the lead and will now have to take care of his tires to the end. Piastri comes out 12 seconds behind, but with tires that are 14 laps newer. And then this is where Leclerc really starts to struggle. So it now becomes kind of a 2-horse race. Piastri gets by Leclerc on the front straight with DRS on lap 51 of 70. Russell tries to do the same 10 laps later, but an apparently frustrated Leclerc puts up a, shall we say, a stout defense. Russell complaining twice that Leclerc moved in the braking zone.
Yeah, he did. The second time was... The first time was like, you might get away with it. The second time was ridiculous. It was...
Yeah, even Palmer called it out like, nah, it's not. You can't do that.
Can't do that.
He did, Leclerc, get a 5-second penalty and a penalty point on his license, but that did not end up changing the outcome of the race. But the big battle that has been building up for half of the race finally comes to a head on the penultimate lap, with Piastri getting a decent tow as he chases Norris down into turn 1. Piastri dives to the inside, but doesn't quite have enough of an advantage and has to slam on his brakes to avoid hitting his teammate.
Oh, so close. Almost the Bottas special right there in turn 1.
He locks up and effectively seals himself into second place.
That's a Nico and Lewis special too, right? They did the start of the race, but turn 1, Hungary, this is where teammate relationships go to die. Like the thing is, that moment, there's a couple things. One, can you imagine how much like the narrative would have to shift if Mr. Cool, Calm, Collected Iceman takes out both McLarens with an ill-judged... Yeah. Like, immediately you'd have to really, like, maybe we have to reevaluate whether or not his ability to stay, like, level-voiced over the radio actually reflects, like, some sort of greater degree of judgment or insight. Because it is basically dumb luck that was not a both guys go off the track. Like that tail camera from Norris is harrowing.
Oh yeah.
When you see that happen, and there's nothing Lando can do. It is entirely, that's in God's hands. The other thing I love though, if we're going back to the vibes thing, and I'm always going to go back to vibes because I'm an amateur. I don't really know shit about engineering and all this, but the reaction in the McLaren garage I thought was really telling.
Ooh, yeah.
They were fucking loving it.
Yeah.
Like, there was a near miss, and they were looking at each other like, boy, that was close, but also, like, it was awesome. And the thing I really like here is that they are letting these guys work it out. They are letting them fight on track, and they only really pipe up on the radio when it gets, like, a little too touchy. But beyond that, they're letting the teams, the two sides of the garage, like, counter strategize against each other. They're letting them go at it, and it appears to be like it looks like it's a far healthier dynamic, and people are having a hell of a lot more fun than if you like took the sort of the iconic Ferrari approach in the Schumacher era, which is, hey, so one of you needs to get in line. Yeah. We're getting both championships this season. We're going to sew them up, and don't argue with us. I don't think they could do that with just where the two drivers are in performance and their careers, but like I think there's been something really fun about just letting them go at it. The real test would be, had they had that collision, would McLaren have had the stomach to be like, yeah, sometimes shit goes bad, or would you have seen like a push to consolidate the championship drive behind one driver? But where things are now, that seems like a team that like kind of heartily approves of them just going like hammer and tongs.
Yeah, I think it was also like an incident. If that was like lap after lap, they might have gotten involved. And yeah, I think to your point as well, like we're halfway through the season. This might be more of a pinch point later. I mean, later in the season they're going to be fighting for the championship, so they're going to be fighting.
But, and the constructors is wrapped.
Exactly. The constructor and also the drivers' championship we're getting to the state like they have 100-point gap on Verstappen almost, and he's trending in the opposite direction. So I think the worry is that. Yeah, and also neither of these guys have won a championship before. There is no clear number one. You would have said it was Lando, but Oscar's leading the champ. So
well, and do you see the stat? Like this hasn't happened since the Senna Prost era. Like them qualifying 1 and 2, like 4 races in a row. Like this is oddly enough these two child soldiers. This is like generational McLaren glory days stuff. Right. It is weird to think like this is the most successful pairing since like Senna and Prost, and again it's like these two kids, but still it is undeniable that you have like this is shaping up to be like a really memorable lineup and rivalry.
Yes, indeed, because with that win, Lando Norris closes to 9 points, within 9 points to Piastri. So Piastri still on top, but Lando only 9 behind for the.
He's going to lose this championship.
Is that fanfic? Sorry.
What'd you say, Rob?
He's going to lose this championship because of Canada. That DNF, I think, is just going to loom larger and larger. The like totally needless.
It is the 200th win for McLaren.
Oh,
yeah. Coming home in second is Oscar Piastri, followed by George Russell. Charles Leclerc in fourth. Didn't lose any positions as a result of that 5-second penalty. Fernando Alonso keeps his 5th spot, and Gabriel Bortoleto makes up a place to 6th to finish ahead of Lance Stroll. Liam Lawson finishes ahead of Max Verstappen, and Kimi Antonelli makes up 5 positions to finish in the last points-paying position. Isaac Hadjar finishes just outside the points. He got hit on the hand by some gravel in the opening laps.
Yeah.
Which must. They should wear, like paintball gloves,
Right.
with the little armor on the fingers.
They don't have the space in the cockpit.
Yeah.
You're right. It's like millimeters.
They don't even have space for the tear-offs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you see Max Verstappen threw like a towel out of the
in practice. Yeah.
car in practice?
He threw in the towel.
Wow. Lewis Hamilton finished 12th where he started. Nico Hülkenberg 13th. Carlos Sainz 14th. And Alex Albon finished 15th. Behind them, Ocon, Tsunoda, Colapinto, Gasly, and Oliver Behrman, who retired part of the way through the race with floor damage. So the championship, as we head into the summer break, looks like this. Oscar Piastri on top, 9 points ahead of Norris, who himself is 88 points ahead of Verstappen. 15 points back is Russell in 4th. 21 points back is Leclerc in 5th. 42 points afield of his teammate Lewis Hamilton in 6th, who's 45 points ahead of Antonelli in 7th. Alex Albon is 8th, 10 points back from Antonelli. That's interesting. Nico Hülkenberg is in 9th, 17 points back from Albon, and 10 points ahead of Esteban Ocon in 10th. Just behind him, 1 point behind, is Fernando Alonso, who moves up 4 positions to 11th place with that 5th place finish. He's tied on points with his teammate Lance Stroll, who also moves up a spot to 12th. Stroll is 4 points ahead of Hadjar in 13th, who's 2 points ahead of Pierre Gasly in 14th, who's tied on points with Liam Lawson. Carlos Sainz is in 16th, 4 points back. Gabriel Bortoleto moves up 2 spots to 17th place. He's 2 points back from Sainz and 4 points ahead of Tsunoda, who's in 18th. 2 points ahead of Behrman, who is 8 points ahead of the still pointless, without points, Franco Colapinto in 20th, tied with Jack Doohan. In the constructor standings, McLaren is on top with 559 points. That is 299 ahead of second place Ferrari, who are, at this point, 24 points ahead of Mercedes in third, who are 42 points ahead of Red Bull Racing in fourth.
Yikes.
Then it's 124 points back to Williams in fifth, who are now only 18 points ahead of Aston Martin, who jump up 2 spots to sixth place with that strong finish. They're only 1 point ahead of Sauber in seventh, who are 6 points ahead of Racing Bulls in eighth. Then a 10-point gap to Haas and a 15-point gap to Alpine in 10th. And that's your Hungarian Grand Prix. Shall we?
Before we go, can we have a quick chat about the tire strategy stuff? Because like a lot of F1 fandom is sort of coming down on the, there's the meme of McLaren loving Lando, their firstborn child, and Piastri not getting the optimal tire or strategy or whatever. To me, I don't see any like favoritism in this one whatsoever. It seems a pretty clear cut like Piastri was on what they thought was the optimal, less risky strategy. Lando, knowing this is a car position, like track position heavy circuit, decided to go for it. And ultimately Oscar's pace wasn't good enough, and he sort of had a couple of moments that did slow him down and stopped his pursuit of Lando when he had the tire benefit at the end of the race. So to me it was a just ending. I think it was Lando had the benefit of being able to counter strategize him and not really have to worry too much about dumping down the order. It was sort of like a might as well go for it situation, and he had a good drive and it panned out. So yeah, just because there was a lot of sort of scuttlebutt I saw on social media and Reddit and stuff with people sort of wondering, was this a screw job on Piastri? But no.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, it was so clear that they were trying to improvise a strategy to recover Norris's race, but that was not he hadn't fallen into a winning position. Kind of he did by accident. Like, nobody thought the one stop could be that successful. And he did the job. He held the mediums together way longer than he had any right to, and then he held on till the end. Maybe if I'm Oscar, I'm a little uncomfortable with. I wish other options had been presented to me at the key moment of the race, but again, like, he had the luxury at that moment of staying on what they thought was the prime strategy. F1 goes this way sometimes. Like, Lando has gotten screwed by McLaren hesitation, at other junctures. So I'm with you. I think like people like I think we're all conditioned to sort of try and read the tea leaves of like what who's the team putting the thumb on the scale for. I think here it was just fortunes of war.
Yeah, it seemed like everyone was gambling on the one stop, that it wasn't really, they didn't assume it was a viable strategy beforehand. And indeed, I think all of the drivers who ended up doing that did make up places. So it's Norris, Alonso, Bortoleto, Stroll, Lawson, Antonelli, Hadjar, I think, lost a spot. But I think, and Behrman tried it, but he retired. I don't know. I'm not seeing, any conspiracy theories here. It was an opportunistic, like, well, you lost a whole bunch of positions. Let's try something weird, and it just happened to work out. Let's take it to the news. Rob, what's going on at Ferrari?
Whole lot of nothing to see here. You may have heard rumors about Fred Vasseur's position being somewhat weak at the team. Well, they just extended his contract. It was coming to an end this year, but they have renewed and extended his contract, and they're excited about it because they announced that on Instagram with a picture of him, and Fred Vasseur has extended at Ferrari. So there's nothing to worry about here. Obviously, like, we get effusive quotes like, "I'm grateful for the trust Ferrari continues to place in me. This renewal is not just a confirmation; it's a challenge to keep progressing, to stay focused, and to deliver."
Oh, he used ChatGPT. Okay.
Things that Fred Vasseur, I think, definitely said with his human mouth, and was not folded into a press release. No, I mean, like, here's the thing. I actually this is a contract rule. When I saw the Instagram post, my immediate reaction was,
Oh, really? Wow. The lady doth protest too much.
It's like one of those deals because like they don't. This is not like football where contract details have to be disclosed, right?
No.
That shit could say anything.
I
I remember
Checo
Checo Perez got
yeah, exactly. He got it exactly. The kiss of death, you could call it.
Yeah. No, man. We totally. You know what? We think you need a vote of confidence, so we're gonna give you a meaningless extension,
Yes,
so then you
exactly.
can really perform.
Yeah.
And then when we fire you, at least we've tried everything. And I'm not saying I'm not saying that's how it is, but like there was a lot of like smoke, and there's sort of some grudging, like the team backing Vasseur's position, and now there's this extension, which you can get out of it. Like, to what degree are they thoroughly committed to them for those coming years? So,
it's a 10-year extension, and the only clause is that you have to be in first.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah. I like Fred. I hope he stays around.
Great actor.
That's right.
We'll get into it next week.
Oh, man,
It always
Yeah.
always weirds me out when a new team principal comes around for like a year or two and then is gone. Like, how can you even affect change in a gigantic organization? A car that takes a year to develop anyway. Like,
don't watch soccer. Don't watch the Premier League, Drew. Don't do it to yourself.
I mean, that's different. You're not building a thing. I don't know. All right, second news story here, especially coming off of the heels of Spa. The drivers are wondering aloud, like, hey, how do we fix this whole rain thing? Like, we would love to not delay races for a very long time. We understand why we do it, because when the water aerosolizes and creates a fog, we can't see anything. That's not great. What if we, like we've done in Interlagos and other tracks, put a whole bunch of grooves in the racetrack, and we can link to the race article, which has some good photographs of these grooves. What if we did that? A whole bunch more to get the water rushing off of the track so that we can clear the track more easily and go racing. It is something I'd never heard of, but it seems like a pretty good idea. And in fact, the Pirelli chief engineer of F1, Simone Barra, agrees. He says, I think let's see, where is the quote here? In general, I think we've spoken with the tarmac suppliers about the porosity of the track surface to evacuate the water better. I think the situation is not worse than in the past. Fernando Alonso is saying in this article, it used to be better in my day. But Barra goes on to say, in general, I think the situation is slightly better. Obviously, when you have heavy rain, there's nothing you can do to decrease the water level, but I think there still could be potentially something to do to improve the standing water in some parts of the tracks. Basically, what you don't want is hydroplaning or aquaplaning if you're in the British Isles. For example, at Interlagos and also Spa on the start-finish straight, you have these grooves and it's much, much better. But obviously the problem with these is that you cannot really create high frequencies with these grooves. I'm not sure what that means. Because then you generate also some behavior in the tire that can overheat it. Okay, so you can't just put grooves everywhere on the track, because then it's probably too abrasive for the tire and you'll shred them. But he says that they tried the mud guards, the flaps to tamp down on the rain coming off of the tires, but the visibility didn't improve. So that's not a solution. The water's not coming from just the tires; it's also coming from the floor. So from the tire's perspective, our aim is to avoid any aquaplaning. So obviously we cannot really develop a tire that would risk aquaplaning on the straight. So a lot of things in motion here. I thought it was interesting hearing that it's not just the tires kicking up the water, that it's also the floor, which makes a lot of sense because it's air moving. That's what the floor does. It moves it out the back of the diffuser to suck the car to the track. So when that's happening, of course, any water on the track gets turned into mist. It's all about getting the water off of the track.
That's also what I would say if I knew that I could never get the tire thing changed. Because, like, to me, the biggest, I'm no hydroplanist or aquaplanist. I don't know about porosity. That was the first time I heard that beautiful word. It's now my favorite word. I don't, but my concern has always been it's because these wet tires have gotten so good and these inters have gotten so good and they displace so much water. And like, that's hard. That's a hard thing to step back from because you're essentially taking grip away from drivers during scary conditions. Until you get to the point where they can't see anyone and Isaac Hadjar runs into the back of somebody. So,
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. I wonder how much of it's the floor.
All right. This is a little outside the box.
Okay.
So my first thought was I'll just Google industrial outdoor dehumidifiers.
Oh my god.
And I'll be
Oh my
honest, I didn't see any solutions that like seemed particularly promising.
Okay.
But you can't just like stop thinking there. What if fans, giant ass fans at key ports of the track, and you just blow that vapor off toward the crowd will love it because like, oh, it feels so good. You kick the fans up and you just blow the vapor out. And so now like the inters, they're like whipping the water into the air and then the fans whisk it away. Now, would you be creating insane tail and crosswind
Yes.
for the aero? But right? Who cares?
You're going to have drivers like turning into the air. You know? Like a pilot landing a Cessna on a windy day.
Yeah. It'll make audiences more comfortable because of the fans, and it will help. Like you won't have to run so many laps under safety car to clear the track. Like I think this is a winner. Like
Rob.
Yes, I don't think the big dehumidifier is really like scalable outside. It may not be compatible with like the green future of F1, but giant fans, I think we're onto something.
Rob, let's take out the middleman. Let's bring back the fan car.
Oh, but now it's like just a Roomba. Like you have, like basically you take an F1 car, they're big. They're already big. And like, it can be even competitive advantage because like you collect the water, but the engineer can like, where do you collect the water? You can adjust like where the water's slurped to adjust the weight balance of the car. This is it. Like fan car, Roomba tank, safety for all.
It's a strategy.
Yep.
The Brabham BT46, if you want to see the fan car, folks. You've never seen the F1 fan car. It's a good time.
Also a good time, Danny, maybe. This quick hit about Verstappen, just to close the loop here.
Yeah, there was some scuttlebutt, about could Max cancel his contract if I think he needed to be in the top 4, by the mid-season. There was a release clause in there. Like both you guys have said, F1 contracts are worth the paper they're printed on in some respects. You may need to pay somebody out of it, but if a driver wants to go, a driver's going to go. So like a lot of this stuff is a little bit overwrought in Formula 1 in particular. But obviously his position at Spa made it so that he was whatever that...
he was safe. It was top 3, and now George Russell cannot...
It was top 3, and he got 4th. Sorry, in Spa. That's why I got turned over. So they were chatting to him about it at Autosport this week, and he basically we'll link to the article in the show notes. But he basically sort of like opened up a little bit about his contracts and did the whole Max Verstappen thing of like, I don't really like to talk about it, but since there's rumors, which is all probably nonsense, he's probably just like able to talk about it now or wants to talk about it now. That yes, he will be around with Red Bull for next year, which again, anyone who isn't insane knew, because who is going to change at the first year of a new regulation? What you would do is change on the second year of that regulation, because you could see how everyone's shaken out. And when they asked him about, will we be having these conversations next year, he was like, if I'm in the same position, then yeah. So this is clearly like a mid-season thing that is in his contract going forward. So it'll be the same problem next year. But ultimately, Max Verstappen wants to leave Red Bull and he wants to go somewhere else. Any other team, I'm sure, is going to be happy to take him. Unless, the entourage stuff we talked about before.
I've been thinking this, but I haven't brought it up on the podcast. It is just crazy to me on some level that he has a clause in his contract that he can escape
Yes.
if he is not in the top 3. Like that's how much command Verstappen has over his future and over the sport and over physics. You know, like it's not in any other team and driver. It would, I mean, maybe not everyone, but like it would be the team saying like, listen, if you can't get up to this spot,
Right.
you're out because we're gonna provide you the car to do it. But Verstappen's is the other way around. It's that I haven't heard anyone talk
And
about
I will be
that,
able
but
to
it's
go
just
down the
wild.
grid and find a seat. Like
Yeah.
the driver's market will change for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you would like to join the standings yourself, you can do so in our official Shift+F1 Fantasy League. Here are the podiums for both the Hungarian Grand Prix, and the overall podium. Starting with the Hungarian Grand Prix, in third place, not going to Mission Winnow.
Cool.
Not even once. Second place, Germini Racing. And in first place from Hungary, Ferrario and Luigi.
Beautiful.
Love it. But overall, here, let's do the top 5 heading into the summer break. From fifth place, bring back Marlboro.
Wow. We
Fourth
just can't
place,
avoid it. As best we try, we cannot avoid it.
I know. Fourth place, Vowels Movement.
Outstanding.
Yep. Third place, stoneworkspaving.ca. Boy,
Hey.
the ads are even in the fantasy teams. Second place, Ukulele, parentheses, Endor 8000. And in first, still, commanding lead of, only 9 points. The championship
Like
is
Lando.
separated only by 9 points.
Yeah.
F1 banned my team name.
Oh, yeah. Still.
Yep.
Censorship, man.
That's what's going on in the fantasy league. You can also send us an email if you like, shiftf1podcast@gmail.com or f1.cool/emails. You can also hit us up on the socials using the link in the show notes. We got a link tree down there, don't you know?
A link tree.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
A tree of links. Water it.
But that's us around the internet. Danny, you want to take it around the world?
Let's race around the world. Yeah.
Kicking things off with the Friday race, Watkins Glen International. We've got Craftsman Trucks in Watkins Glen, New York for Mission 176 at the Glen.
What's Mission 176?
Well, Danny, it might make
that a
more
religious
sense
thing?
when I say the Xfinity Series also at Watkins Glen International for the Mission 200 at the Glen.
Got it. Makes more sense.
That's right.
Oh, so it's like Mission tortilla chips, maybe.
Ooh,
Yeah,
maybe.
it must be. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah,
Or-
there's 176 in their small bag and 200 in their medium. It's really not a very good deal.
Okay.
Get the small.
We have DTM at the Nürburgring in Nürburgring, Germany.
It's my favorite ring among them.
We've got the supercars in Queensland Raceway in Australia. for the
Queensland.
Century Batteries Ipswich Super 440.
What is it? It's the Century Batteries Ipswich 440.
It's not, my Australian is not
Can't do it.
good enough to go a whole race name. Although I've been watching a lot of Shetland, so my Scottish is getting pretty good.
Oh, no. What's Shetland? Is
It's
it
a
about just like the
murder
island?
mystery.
Oh,
People
Shetland.
keep getting murdered on
In
these
the
tiny
Shetland
little
Islands?
British- Oh yeah. Oh Rob,
Yeah.
you'd be all over it.
The amount
Oh,
of
man.
books that are about Irish villages where terrible murders happened is
absolute
remarkable.
best.
It's not
Well, it's just
recommended.
like Nordic noir. These are
Yeah.
these are countries with no homicide rate, basically, but a robust selection of like gritty police procedurals.
Yes,
and
it's always night.
Yeah.
It's like season 4 of True Detective.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great.
Oh yeah, that was solid. I like that.
Let's see. IndyCars at the Portland International Raceway for the BitNile.com Grand Prix of Portland. Can't escape the crypto.
Bit Nile. So is that an Egyptian? Is that what we're saying?
Yes. Where is the origin of the BitNile?
The Nile is the Nile is not just a river in Egypt. It's also a form of ledgered currency.
That's right.
That's their slogan.
Oh wow, it's the Dr. Livingston NFT. I finally got it.
Sick of all these stupid scarabs.
We've got Super Formula at Sportsland Sugo.
Sportsland. It's where
Every
we all go,
racetrack
folks.
sounds like a place I want to go in Japan.
Yeah,
Dude,
Autopolis.
That's right. It's a motorsports facility in the town of Murata, Shibata District, Miyagi Prefecture. Great oysters. And we got NASCAR.
Yeehaw.
Also at the hallowed grounds of Watkins Glen for the Go Bowling at the Glen.
Bowling at the Glen. Throw that ball in the Glen. Watch it roll.
That's right. All right, well, that's happening this weekend. No Formula One, so those are your options.
That's it. Enjoy them.
What happened this day in history, Danny?
Yeah, or you could read a book. The book that I like to read. This is the book I read the most in a calendar year, probably. This day, August 6th, in days of yore, it's always wrong for the people who get the podcast early because they get it on August 5th, but whatever. Multi-25. Africa Multi-25. Today in 2025, Shift F1 listeners got a great deal for 50% off the next one. Sorry. Today in 2026 was a better day for Button when he finally took his first F1 victory for Honda in the Hungarian Grand Prix at the Hungaroring, which I mentioned last week. He had started way down in the grid in 14th, but helped by the wet conditions and a safety car appearance. Jens carved out his way through the field and win for the win for the first time in 113 attempts. He said,
Did you call him Gents?
That's what they. I swear to God, that's
How
what they
do
wrote.
you spell Gents?
Jense. I had never heard of him referred to as Gents before. It can't be a typo.
A little informal.
Gents, yeah.
Are you on a
Gents.
first name basis?
Apparently, gents and ladies.
Name
Gents,
dropper.
ladies. 113 attempts. He said, "What a day! It's been amazing. Coming through from 14th to win the race was brilliant. I could not have done it a better way." There you go. Very humble as well.
Good.
Robert Kubica began his F1 career in the same race, making his debut for the BMW Sauber team after regular driver Jacques Villeneuve sat the race out after an accident in the previous race. The young Polish driver impressed by qualifying 9th and finishing 7th before he was disqualified after his car was found to be underweight. Nonetheless, he kept his seat and was soon signed up as a full-time driver for 2007. There you go.
All right.
A
Surprise
happy
Kubica
little
watch.
story.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, Kubica watch. Previous watch. In the past.
Well, heading into the summer break, thoughts, Danny, on the Hungarian Grand Prix, the state of the season, what you're looking forward to?
It's all down to the boys, McLaren boys. That's it. That's what we're dealing with here. I don't know. I guess the Construction Championship will be interesting to watch between Ferrari and Mercedes, but that's where we're sort of at. I don't know how much driver movement we're going to have because we are entering, it's always weird. It's like the end of a war or something. It's like you're sort of, the things are frozen in time a little bit. Everyone's a little bit safer or trying to stay safe. I don't know if we're going to see much driver activity stakes happening for the next 6 months just because of next year. So I don't know. I think we're going to hopefully enjoy a good championship battle with the two McLarens. Certainly seems to be the case. No one, somebody runs away with it in the next four or five races once we get back. But yeah. And I also kind of hate the summer break because if ever there was a time to be putting sports on, it's the summer. Like, why do you take a break now? Take a, I don't know.
Just to fill everybody in on where contracts are, by my count, we have 7 drivers who are not signed up for 2026. It is Colapinto, both Mercedes drivers. That one I wouldn't be surprised to see signed over the break. Russell just committed for 26. Yeah. Hadjar and Lawson, Sonoda, and Bortoletto.
Yeah, Yuki could. I mean, yeah, Yuki's a weird one. But it's not Yuki, right? It's the car.
Yeah. I mean, I think they should just sign all those guys. Final thoughts, Rob?
It's pretty appropriate that Hamilton has that perplexity logo on his helmet, because they need some fucking answers, because the perplexity at Ferrari is off the charts.
Yeah. Hungary, I think, even though it was a 2 out of 4 strategy race, I think if it was a microcosm of the rest of the season, I'd be happy. I would love to keep it close between the McLaren boys, and I would love to see Max Verstappen actually pulling vintage Verstappen moves through the field to struggle to get to, near the podium. That was fun. That was exciting.
Well, hang on. If he does more vintage Verstappen moves, he's going to get a race ban.
Sorry. Yes, you're right. Yeah. And I am, like you, Rob, sort of morbidly curious about how things go at Ferrari, given that they are, seemingly sitting pretty in second. Mercedes doesn't seem super hot either. That car is troubled. So, what's that going to be like? I'm excited to pick it up when things come back, and I'm excited to talk to you guys about F1 the movie.
Yeah.
And
Earnhardt.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/Shift+F1. Offer code multi25. Multi25, Dre. Multi25.
Thanks, Danny Webber. All right. Well, if you would like to support the show and get access to all of our bonus episodes, the early ad-free version of the podcast, and the official Shift+F1 Discord, which will also keep you company through this cold, dark summer without Formula One for a couple weeks. You can do so over at patreon.com/Shift+F1. Have a great race weekend, everyone. We'll see you all next time.
Offer code ends on Sunday.